Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Down on the Farm, brought to you by our good friends at State Farm, only right here on opensports.com. As always, I'm your host, Sid Rosenberg. The All-Star break is just about upon us, and kicking off the festivities will be the Futures game coming up on Sunday. The All-Star game, of course, is on Tuesday. Let's welcome back Tyler Hissey, an encore performance of Minor League Notebook Weekly. We take a look at some of the best prospects in the game coming up on Sunday night. Tyler, how are you, pal?
I'm doing well, Sid. Thanks for having me on the show again.
You are the only encore performance up to this point. We like you so much, you're back for a second visit. How about that?
It's quite an honor, Sid, certainly.
Yeah, it's really not, but thank you for saying that anyway. So, Tyler, let's take a look at the breakdown of the two rosters. On the USA side, Tyler, 14 of the spots from AA ball. The World team has 11 players from AA and 12 from Class A. That leaves just 7 AAA players in this game. Safe to say the best prospects now are at AA.
Yeah, it certainly is safe to say that the majority of top prospects, the real studs who make up the top 50 and top 100 prospect lists by Baseball America or Baseball Prospectus, those guys primarily reside in AA or at the lower levels of the minor leagues. At AAA, the competition certainly is higher, but really those rosters are filled with players who have probably had a cup of coffee in the major leagues, almost that replacement level major league player who really is not good enough to be a contributor every day at the major league level, but still has value to that organization in terms of adding depth to their system.
Gotcha. So, Tyler, which major league club is best represented in the game coming up on Sunday? I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you can only have 2 players, but what club has their best going at it on Sunday?
Well, yeah, certainly. The rules are a little bit restricted. It's not like the Major League Baseball All-Star Game where a team can have as many players as they want. That's why you see the managers, Charlie Manuel and Joe Madden, picking a lot of their own guys for their rosters. The Futures game is a little bit different. You can only have 2 players, so it really is hard to kind of determine the organization that would be best represented. The one organization that sticks out to me, Sid, is the Baltimore Orioles. They're going to have Chris Tillman and Brian Mattis, two really elite, high-level, top 10, 15 pitching prospects in minor league baseball who will each throw an inning. These guys are studs, and I just think it's interesting that the Baltimore Orioles have so much pitching talent. They acquired Chris Tillman in the Eric Bedard trade a few years ago, which has turned out to be a phenomenal trade for the Baltimore franchise. They also got Adam Jones, of course, and all-star closer George Sherrill. But Tillman is excellent stuff. He'll be in that Baltimore rotation very quickly. And Brian Mattis is an excellent lefty. He was the best collegiate pitcher entering the 2008 draft. He has command over 3 above-average pitches, and he profiles as probably a number 2 with the chance to be an ace down the road. But Baltimore fans, you guys should be excited because the future looks bright for you guys, especially when it comes to that starting rotation.
Agreed. Now, Tyler, Team USA loaded with pitching. Who's the best of the bunch, and how does the World Team pitching staff compare?
I'd say that the Team USA does have probably more high on their staff for this specific Futures game. But the best guy on Team USA is Madison Bumgarner, left-handed pitching prospect in the San Francisco Giants organization. He was the Giants' first-round pick back in 2007. The kid has excellent stuff. He's not even 20 years old yet, and he has put up outstanding statistics at AA. I think he's 6-1 with a sub-2 ERA. He has an excellent plus fastball, one of the best fastballs by any prospect in all of minor league baseball. And great movement, and coming from the left side, that's really excellent stuff. He needs to work a little bit on his secondary pitches. The curveball, really, I'm not too impressed with it right now, but he's going to be a stud. And just like the Baltimore Orioles, the San Francisco Giants are going to have an excellent rotation long-term, obviously with Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain. But if you throw in Alderson and Madison Bumgarner in the mix, they're going to have just an elite starting pitching staff.
No, they really are. No question about it. Now, Tyler, a few legacies in this game as well. Bill Root spoke to us just yesterday about Eric Young Jr.'s fantasy potential. Tell us about the potential of Phillies prospect Kyle Drabek, son of former Cy Young Award winner Doug Drabek. How about this kid?
Drabek, it's interesting. Roy Halladay, obviously, the big story in Major League Baseball is that the Blue Jays and JP Ricciardi are listening to offers on him. And the Phillies are one of the teams that really have shown some interest and could be a favorite to end up landing Halladay. And the one pitching prospect they've said has been untouchable, or at least in the initial reports, has been Drabek. Drabek was their first-round pick a few years back and had a disappointing first couple seasons. He had Tommy John surgery, which shut him down. But since he's returned, he really has shown why he was such an elite pitching prospect coming out of the Woodlands High School in Texas back in 2006. He has an outstanding fastball, pretty good secondary stuff. He really has swing and miss stuff, and I think he'll be a very good pitcher for whichever team ends up having him in the rotation when he's ready in a few years.
So with that said, who are the best players, by the way, on Sunday not in the game, Tyler?
I'd have to say, going back to what we discussed earlier, since it's kind of a team is restricted to only having two players, teams with excellent organizations with excellent minor league depth, like the Texas Rangers, it's kind of a shame they can only send two guys. And in the San Francisco Giants, obviously they're going to send Madison Bumgarner to represent the U.S. squad as a pitcher because he's probably the best pitcher in the game, at least with the highest upside. And the world team, they needed a first baseman, so they named Angel Villanona from the Giant system. So that kind of left an odd man out with Buster Posey, the catching prospect who was a first-round pick out of Florida State in 2008, who many expected to go number 1 overall. He ended up falling to 5 at San Francisco due to signability concerns. I think he got the highest signing bonus in the 2008 draft. But Posey's a stud. There's reports that he's going to bypass the AA level altogether and go right from high A to AAA after the All-Star break because he has absolutely teared up high A pitching. He's an outstanding defensive catcher, and catchers who really project to hit 300 with 15 to 20 homers, they really grow on trees. So I'd say that Buster Posey is probably the one name that it's kind of a shame that he won't get to show his stuff to the world.
One of those guys right now with the Baltimore Orioles, Matt Wieters, a young guy getting a lot of attention, kind of in the category you're talking about. Mike Piazza offensively, Johnny Bench defensively have been some of the comparisons here. Now, aside from everybody you just talked about, some other guys that are going to play on Sunday, you're looking forward to watching play, maybe 2 or 3 other guys.
The guys who I'm really excited about watching are really kind of 2 of my favorite prospects, outfield prospects, Desmond Jennings of the Tampa Bay Rays and Mike Stanton of the Florida Marlins. I'll start with Jennings. This kid is a phenomenal athlete. He was a football recruit at the University of Alabama coming out of high school. He had some personal issues, so he didn't step foot on campus down in Tuscaloosa. He went to junior college, and the Rays nabbed him, I believe, in the 3rd round in 2006. And he is just a tremendous athlete with tools galore. I thought one of the interesting things about Desmond Jennings, when he was in the Arizona Fall League last year, scouts said that he stuck out on a tools level like a sore thumb. And considering all the studs that play in the Arizona Fall League, that's pretty high praise. But in addition to that, he's also an excellent baseball player, and he's been able to refine that raw athleticism into excellent skills, which has translated into production. And he has the chance to really add another elite defender to that Rays outfield with Carl Crawford and B.J. Upton, just a special athlete. Mike Stanton's another just stud prospect from the Florida Marlins. He hit 39 home runs in the South Atlantic League last year. And the guy really probably has more power than any player in minor league baseball. And he projects to hit 40, 45 home runs in the big leagues. He's still a little bit raw. He was also a football player, actually, Sid. He signed a letter of intent to play football at the University of Southern California, but the Marlins were able to buy him out of that scholarship. This kid can put on a show in batting practice, and Marlins fans should be counting down the days until this kid makes his debut, because he'll give them something to watch.
Yeah, no, I've seen him play, actually, at the minor league level down here in Florida. I know Boston was talking about him when they were talking about Manny Ramirez going to the Marlins before he went to the Dodgers last year. Real quick, 30 seconds here, Tyler Hissey. Who do you have for the MVP for the big game on Sunday?
Obviously, it's kind of a crapshoot, Sid, since we don't know, but I'm just going to throw out a name here. Jesus Montero, Yankees catching prospect. There are concerns about whether or not he can stick behind the plate long term, but the bat is going to play anywhere. He is an absolute beast for a 19-year-old kid, projects to hit for plus power, excellent plate discipline, and I think he's going to have a big game. If he gets 2 or 3 at-bats, he might hit a home run or so, but he would be my pick for the MVP.
Tyler, 2 for 2, my friend. You came back for the encore performance, and once again, hit it right out of the park. Thank you so much for stopping by. Great stuff.
Thanks so much, Sid. Thanks for having me.
You got it, pal. You can catch Tyler's Minor League Notebook Weekly podcast at firstinning.com. He also has a blog for the big leagues at mvn.com/aroundthemajors. That'll do it for this edition of Down on the Farm, brought to you by our good friends at State Farm, only right here on opensports.com. I'm your host, Sid Rosenberg. Have a great weekend and enjoy the baseball.
The future of sports on the web is open.